Okay, so hope my screen is visible.
Yes. Yes.
So today uh, we are continue um, some classes on the class, the different way of writing class.
Mhm.
So till now we have studied. We can write one simple class, write any class A, B, C, D,
Right.
and maybe this class can extend to another class, means inheritance, right?
Mhm.
Inherited from class, maybe super class, right?
Mhm.
And might be this class can implement some interface, maybe interface 1, interface 2, multiple interface they can implement, right?
Mhm.
Maybe interface 1, interface 2, right?
Mhm.
Multiple interface we can implement.
Acha.
So whenever we are writing any kind of interface, how to use interface, there are
Mhm.
some implementation class which implement the define abstract method, and
Mhm.
this actual class can be going to use.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so and similarly might be if this class is not implement all the method with abstract declare here, abstract
Mhm.
declare here, let's see, here one abstract method, another abstract method, another abstract, three abstract method. If this class implemented all three, right, all three, that means this class responsibility to implement all three abstract method here, right? If
Right.
this class is not implement all these method, so you cannot say that this is the complete class. That means this is the again abstract class or incomplete class. That means you cannot create the object of this class. Someone going to again make a subclass and implement the whatever the remaining implementation classes. So in short, class have any class we can create object that have a inherited all the abstract method definition available, right? Maybe any level of inheritance. So this is the one way uh, to generally please note that only a class which are complete class that can be we create the object. We cannot create the object of even a abstract class or even
Mhm.
an interface. Just these are the declaration. Here we mentioned there are some methods which
Mhm.
someone going to implement. Okay.
Right. Right.
If any statement is just not completed, that class also abstract, right?
Right.
So till now we know ki different way to write class. One is the simple class, maybe our subclass, maybe abstract class, or
Mhm.
maybe interface, right?
Right.
So let's also look more deep dives. What other things we can write inside the classes, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. So till now we understand class can be written.
Mhm.
Let's example class maybe top level.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
it is top level class. This is this is the simple class because they have a no any kind. This is the complete class you can say, right?
Mhm.
So till now here we can declare any variable, right?
Right.
Variable
Mhm.
uh might be variable like integer x, right?
Mhm.
Or even you can declare the static variable.
Right.
Static variable you can declare like integer static
Mhm.
integer y,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Value maybe 10, value maybe 9. Okay, any value can be.
Right.
Hmm, it's so strange. This is the new font somehow. I am writing simple y. They are changing. Ah,
Right.
yeah, something changed. I
Same.
observe now.
And all the time it is getting same. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so till now we understand it variable can be declared. Even we say ki we can declare some instance method as well as like
Mhm.
instance method like void test,
Mm-hmm.
we can declare, right?
Mm-hmm.
Void instance method, you can say instance method, we can declare, right?
All right.
uh, Even we can declare static method, both option.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can declare static method,
Uh-huh.
that means static.
All right.
So till now we can declare static variable, or the instance, here say instance variable. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and so you can declare instance variable or instance method. You can declare static variable or static method. Okay,
All right. All right.
till now, and we can declare constructor as usual, basic thing, right? We can declare
All right.
constructor.
All right.
Constructor means same as a class name, right?
All
This is
right.
the constructor you can declare.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right.
Till now, we understand that these things generally we can declare, or maybe in a static block or non-static block. We are right.
Mm-hmm.
This is the instance block, right?
Uh-huh.
That's out. Instance block, right?
Uh-huh.
Or you can declare instance block like instance block, or even you can declare the static block as well, right? Both have
Mm-hmm.
option.
Mm-hmm.
All the things we have studied, right?
Mm-hmm.
So inside a class, we can declare constructor, we can declare instance variable, we can declare instance method, you can declare instance block, right?
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, in the static, you can static variable, static method, and static block. As of now, we understand in one class, these are these are the things we can generally do. But
Mm-hmm.
one more thing is still pending. Inside a class, you can do other thing. Might
All right.
be you
All
can
right.
declare class inside another class.
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever we are studying loop, for loop inside another for loop, right? Nested for loop.
All
Yeah,
right.
while loop inside another while loop. If condition inside another condition means nested if block, nested for loop, nested while loop. Similarly, the nested concept also available in the class level.
Mm-hmm.
One class, this is the one complete class. In this class, you can also define another class that is
All right.
known as a
Mm-hmm.
nested class,
Mm-hmm.
right? So till now, is it clear? Ki-
All right.
Sorry, Ajay bhai, I know that you mentioned before. What
Hmm.
was the use for the last method? Name is static. It's called static, the last one.
Static block.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whenever this someone going to call any method in this class, first static block is executed.
Okay.
They have only one times, and these are the instance block. Whenever the object of this class going to create, this is execute, right?
Okay. Okay. This looks good. Okay. Mhm.
So let's say top level class. You say top level class new this. Whenever you say this, okay. So whenever you're going to create object, so by default this instance block going to execute, right?
Automatic.
Automatic. Notice. So these things already have covered in a couple of, okay?
Previous
Notice
class. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
instance block is created.
Acha.
And 1 minute, I think I have a this static instance block. Okay, this automatically invoke the right. This instance block, because there is no method, right? No name. So we can
Mm-hmm.
call cannot call manually. That call automatically wherever this class object going to create, right?
Acha.
Right.
So only major difference is instance block and an static block. Static block as just always invoke only one times. But
Mm-hmm.
instance block is invoke the number of times you create the object, right? Here I created only one object, the one time. Let's say I create another object, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have created two objects.
All
Yes.
right.
I have created another object like object 1, right? So I have
Right.
created two objects. So this
Mhm.
instance block is executed two times, but
Mhm.
static block is just only one times.
अच्छा.
Static means have just only one copy, right?
Mhm.
So notice I have created one object and two object. Notice here static block executed only one times, and instance block for one object one time, another object another time, right?
Mhm.
Constructor and in static blocks are executed for each instance, for each object.
Mhm. Mhm.
Is it okay?
It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Till now, all the things we have covered and understand, right? And
Mhm.
as I mentioned, even all the static things, all the static variable, static methods are accessed from the class name. Even though, see the here say like dot static method, right? They don't need a even object. Static method invoke from the class name itself, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Similarly, you can access the static variable as well as
Right.
Right.
uh, class name dot like a y. Okay,
Right.
and that's out. So you can access the y variable as well as, right?
Right.
Mhm.
The static variable. The
Mhm.
static variable and static methods are accessible from the class name itself. They don't need object. Here we don't need to create object.
Mhm.
Same thing just before we are discussing, right?
Right.
Right.
So here we can say instance variable. Okay, good thing. I
Mhm.
this say key in static variable, right? So static variables are directly accessed from the class name, right?
Mhm.
So this is the so for static be clear anything in this class static they
Mhm.
don't bound to the object, right?
Uh-huh.
But that are anything that is non-static that's are bound to the object. The number of object you created the same number of time you can call those methods, right?
Right.
So till now, these things we have already covered, right? Let's revise the last previous session. So till now in this class, we know we can declare constructor. Constructor can never be static, okay? And we
Mhm.
can declare instance variable, static method, instance block, right?
Right.
Similarly, static variable that can declare static method can define, static block can define. Okay.
Mhm.
So now today we are going to understand we can do more inside the top class, right? So
Mhm.
here we can declare I say कि another
अच्छा.
class, maybe another class, or you can say nested class,
Mhm.
nested class. So this is also feasible. That means कि inside one class you can declare another class known as a nested class.
Mhm.
Is it clear?
हाँ.
So this also,
So,
yes,
so this class will be inside the closing bracket of the.
inside this top level class. So inside you have written, right?
Okay. Hmm. Okay. Got it.
So similarly, generally in class, two kind of member. One is the static member, one is non-static. So similarly, class can be also static and class be non-static, right?
Right.
Can be write static, right?
हाँ.
So that is known as a static nested class. Static nested. So two kind of classes you can write in this class. Maybe simple class, that means instance class, right? Instance class. You can say instance class, right?
बस. Yeah.
Instance means object, right? And
Mm.
this you can say static class.
Right.
So till now, these things we study today, new thing inside a class you can write another class. So this
Mm.
is known as your nested class. This is known as your static nested class.
अच्छा.
The question is that Till now, I know how to this value output print. I know how to call this method. I know how to call this method, how to access this variable, right? If you want to access instance variable, instance method, then you have to create the object, right? And after that, you can say dot instance method, right? You can call
Dot instance
uh,
method.
yeah, object dot instance variable, right?
Right.
So whenever anything you want to access instance, that means you need a first object, right? Once
Mm-hmm.
create the object, and after that you can access the instance variable, instance method, right?
Acha.
Similarly, for static, you need just class name. Similarly, I am here writing the class. So how can I access this class or how can I access this class, right?
True.
Because this class concise, yeah, combine inside another class, right?
Right.
So this is the top level class. So here I can say uh, top level class new, compiler no. But inside another class, you return a nested class. This is class exists. I am going to create the object of this class. Nested class, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Nested class equal to new nested class, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
till now, this compiler don't know where this nested class.
Acha.
Because in this file, I have a two class. One is a sample class, another is a top level class. But
Right.
there is no any other class like nested class. So compiler is not clear where is the nested class.
True.
That means
True.
because this nested class we have defined inside another class here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I This is our responsibility. We have to say, hey compiler, this class is not, you cannot found the inside file itself. This is the one file. Inside the file you cannot find. But
Mm-hmm.
this class I written in another class. So we have to inform JVM, right?
Right.
So how to inform?
Can we put the parent class, the parent class method dot the class name?
Yes, right.
Okay.
This is the way we have to. There is no any parent here. This is the object of top class. Yes.
Yeah.
Notice this class, top level class, and this class. I am right in the this I write on the here top level, right? So it's clear. So
Mm-hmm.
notice this is the top level class. This is the nested class. So is there any relationship between these two? Is there inheritance?
Inherit.
Yeah.
No. There is no any kind
No.
of inheritance relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This class and this class have a one kind of special relationship, kind of has a top class has another class like a nested class, right?
Top.
No relationship.
No direct inheritance relationship here.
No.
Okay.
There is no parent and child relationship.
Child.
Okay. So here we have a two thing. We know any static things access from the class name. So if
Mm-hmm.
I am this class I want to access, let's example. I want to access this class name equal to new this class name, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know any static things we can access from the class name. This is static. That means this class name is just right here. This class name dot. Now compiler understand this class name dot.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are able to invoke this class.
Mm-hmm.
We have created the class name, right?
Mm-hmm.
But generally in this class, what happened? Maybe some static variable, right? Maybe void. Oh, sorry, static and static nested method. Just example, I created one method here. How to call access this method? So static things even not needed any kind of a object. Why need object, right? So generally we can create object, but generally static things not needed. So you can simply say, "Ki, this is my things dot your static method directly," right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to access anything defined inside this static method, that means you have to uh, use the top level class name, then
Mm-hmm.
nested class, because the static things don't require the object, right?
Sure.
So in this way, you can access anything defined inside the nested static class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it clear about the nested static class?
Yeah.
Right.
So this is a method, right?
Yeah. No, this is the class.
It's a
Inside the
class. So
class, I want to invoke this method. I know this
yeah,
is the static method. That means this static method can be called from the class name,
yes.
right?
So
Dot.
top
But
level
this,
class name
uh,
dot the
yeah,
the child class name dot the static.
yeah. Because if I will not write top level class here, compiler don't know ki where is the static nested class.
Mm-hmm.
This class is defined inside another class, right? So we have to mention this is the top level class. Inside you find this, right? So here you
Right.
can say top level class that inside, right?
But this only again this only applies to only static,
Only
Mm-hmm.
for static.
only for static.
Now
Okay.
let's move the I write some here instance method, right?
Mm.
Let's write here void nested class instance method. I want to access this method. How can do, right? Let's
Mm-hmm.
think how can do, because this is the class. If you want to invoke this method, that means we have to create object of this class and call
Mm-hmm.
this method, right? So
Mm.
because this is the instance method, so instance method call from object name, so I can create the object of this class and then call this method object create and then call this method like this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
This one. Okay. But problem is that here compiler don't know ki where is this nested class. Compiler don't know where. Compiler is only know top level, but inside something you define, I don't know even, right?
Mm.
So
Sure.
we have to inform compiler, hey, this nested class somehow inside another class, right? The top level class. That
Right.
means we have to create the object of top level class first, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we have to create first to- top level class, top level object, right?
Mm-hmm.
Object, right? Object equal to new, you can create, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now we have a top level and top level object say and say this dot this, and here say this dot this, right? What say? Okay, okay. Now we have create top level object and dot this is nested class,
Mm.
Yeah.
nested class. Okay, and new, okay, dot whatever. No, what say dot no. So here say top level class we can create dot. Hmm, why not say allow?
Maybe nested class.
No, 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 no.
Uh,
It's allow. New.
no,
Okay.
bracket.
I think here new something. No. Here up level class. Okay. Here say this is your top level class.
Mm-hmm.
Dot
Dot
that one.
nested
Super.
class
Mm-hmm.
That class. Yeah.
object equal to your top new
Top level object.
top level dot
Mm-hmm.
nested class. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Nested. Okay.
One
Nested.
minute. Okay, oh, sorry. This should be this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then nested class is not.
1 minute. Java create nested instance class object.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, which is the this is the nested class. Nested class. This is the new. No, 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 no. Nested class. No, here not unnecessary link. No, not a good. No. New outer class thought. Okay. So here say ki outer class dot new. Okay, we have to write new here, right? Yeah. So here say ki not new here. You have to write top level object dot again that new, right? Is it clear?
Yeah.
So first we have to create the object of your top level class, then dot, then new nested class, right? And
Okay.
now this is the nested class object available. I can call this method. So this is the differences between the if anything instance. This is the instance class. The instance class first you create the object of the top class, right? It's working, right? So first you create the object of top class and that dot then new nested class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just I am writing this new first. That was a confusion to the compiler, right?
But do we
Yes.
need to write top level, or it's a top
Yes.
level object?
Yes.
At the
Object.
on the left,
Object needed here
on the
because
left hand side.
this is the yes. This is your instance. The instance things only accessible from the object. The first you create the object of top class object and object dot this, right? So now you
What
can
about
create.
this line at the beginning?
Yes,
Yeah,
here,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No,
here.
no,
This
yeah. Here,
here we have to need the top level class, then dot nested classes. This is the needed.
can we write top level object here
Here,
instead of?
no, 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 no. This is the
Oh,
not. No.
oh, okay, okay. I see, I see. So you need to write the
Here, while
class.
creating the object, you need the object, right?
Uh,
Here we are creating the object, na? Here. So we
mhm.
need the object another. So generally, we sometime really use this concept inner class and inner class things. But as a concept, ki inside class you can define another class as well as that class can be instance class or can be static.
Okay.
If this class can define, then how can access? So for static, that is very clear. Static for that is just the top level dot static dot call the value, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for instance classes, you have to first create the object of top level, then say top level dot new class, and then you can get the object, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
So till now, this level of hierarchy, no any kind of a restriction. Inside top level class, nested class. Inside you can also write another class. There is no restriction. Another nested, right?
All right.
A nested class you can write, right? Compiler allow. So top level inside another class you can write. There is no restriction. Same rule
Mhm.
apply for the here. But generally, more top level in the really application, you are not going hardly 1 or 2 level, right? But
Mhm.
compiler is not enforcing you cannot write, you can write, right?
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा
Good. So till now, understand the top level class. We can understand the in nested class. We can understand the static nested class. Okay.
Mhm.
So here in the top level, you can create a class. You can create a static class, you can create constructor, you can create method, you can create an instance block, static instance, all the things, right? And
Mm,
one more places where we can write class, that is the any inside a method. Till
mhm,
now, this is the instance method. Inside a method, you can also write here. So here like a void, one method like a test method, right? We have a
mhm,
test.
mhm,
So inside this method, you can also create a class test. Okay.
mhm.
So this class is known as a local class. Local class. This class cannot access outside of this test method, right?
Mhm.
So here, let's uh, this this because it's a test method. You can call the test method, but inside, let's keep test method, right? Test method, and here you can write any like a void local test. Okay, here local class. So this is a local class. So this is the also place someone sometime write the class inside a method. So this is also feasible, but this is only local means local thing cannot access outside of this block, a method. So
Right.
you can declare class, but this class cannot access from the main method anywhere. Main in the main class, you can call this test method, right? This is the test class object. You can call that dot test method, right?
Mhm.
You can call, but this class, local class, you cannot access outside of the this test method, right?
अच्छा अच्छा
But
हम्म
question is that then why we write this? How to access this method? What is the
हम्म
way? How to call this method? I want to call this method. How you can do, right?
हम्म हम्म
So only one options ki once created class created. After that, inside this test method itself, you can here write object
हम्म
equal to new this, and after that say obj dot test local. So whenever you call this method first print output this, and after that they create object and they call this, and after
हम्म,
this, whenever this method done, this all the things is destroyed.
अच्छा
So let me run. So this is the uh, one. Sometimes someone know can we write class inside a particular method? Yes, Java allow you can write a class inside the method as well as, but this known as a local class, and the local class have a kind of a
हाँ,
disadvantage. You cannot access outside of the class, and even you cannot create the object before the class declaration. Here you cannot do,
the outside of that class I have to write it down.
right?
Um,
So here you cannot create the object of class first before declare, right? Here you cannot do.
uh,
So because the methods are executed by sequential order, right? Once
अच्छा
this line executed, after that here say local test class, test class not found, because they are not going to look the down. So
uh,
this is the not possible to create object before declaration,
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा
right? This rule only applicable for this local things. Whatever
हम्म,
declare inside a method, like any variable, like here you can declare variable x, right?
right
Variable int variable x, or even he can declare int variable y, right?
uh-huh.
Okay. So all these things are the local variable, local class. These are only accessible inside this block. After
So,
this method, you cannot access this.
so local class test, is
Hmm.
this in the same
Yes, same.
block
This is
of
all.
code?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So that's why you only we only created one uh, object and
yeah.
no dot notation like parent class
This no
not created because it's just local.
local variable.
Okay.
But this rule, like if you notice, I created a nested class here, but nested class object can be created before. Here say let's nested class.
Mm.
Can here say upper top nested class obj nested equal to new. Nested class you can do, there is no compiler issue. You can create the object before declaration. Here I declare class, but here I can create the object, right?
Acha.
But this rule
Mm.
is not applicable for your local class. No, notice
Acha.
local class here. In this line I cannot declare create object here, right? You cannot
Uh-huh.
create it, right?
Uh-huh.
Because methods are executed sequentially one by one. The
Acha.
only problem.
Mhm.
Due to that, whatever you are declaring inside a method, that's become by default local. Okay?
Acha.
But anything inside a class are the
Uh-huh.
not any order. This is the class inside no order. Might be can call test method, I can call this, I can call any method, right? There is no any order guarantee. Due to that, you write class later and create object first. It's acceptable.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Even
So it
you
will
notice
work.
I declare variable last here, one variable integer ABC, right? A B C equal to 99, right? I declare variable last 99. This variable I can access on the top here. Here in the test method, I can say print ABC.
Acha.
I can do, right?
Acha.
Why? Because this object, once this object created, this variable automatically initialize ABC, right? And once
Mhm.
object create, after that you can call this test method. So whenever you call, notice here your object created first, then you can call test method. So whenever you're going to create object at that time, this class completely initialize. All the variable declare on the any order.
Mhm,
They are
mhm.
initialized. And after that, once the object created, you are going to call test. So test can access ABCD. So anything that's are declared inside a class, there is no any order, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Okay. Okay. So here I have to pass some value. Right. Here I change the experiment, right? So just I'm explaining here ki in the class lots of things you can do, but in the class there is a no required kind of ordering. In class you can write anything anywhere, right? You can write test method first, or nested class object, or nested class, or
Mhm,
constructor, or variable, or top
mhm.
order. There is no any kind of ordering. Anything you can write in any order, right?
Right.
But whenever you are talking about a particular method,
Mhm.
inside a method, they are executed by them sequential order wise. You can declare variable here y. After that, you can access the y variable, right? You can say y equal to something, right? Right? Y,
Obviously, yeah.
right? Because first you declare, then access. But before declare, I cannot use s out y
Uh,
here.
oh, what? Okay, I just want no
I
why.
cannot use y variable first because y don't know what is the y. Compiler line by line, they are going to execute the method.
Oh, but
This
this
line don't know what is the y. So this is not allow.
Acha. Y is equal to plus
First you
y.
declare y, then you can use. Similarly,
Mhm.
here you cannot create the object of no local class because there is no local class till now. The first you
Right,
have to clear the declare object, then create object, then call method.
right,
So
right.
order of execution is very important in the method, right?
Mhm,
Whenever
mhm,
you are doing inside a method, please ensure whatever you are writing that must follow the order the
Yes.
way you are writing code.
I'll
mhm.
But
Uh,
anything you are writing inside a class,
mhm.
there is no any order guarantee. Anything you can write here. In the class, you can write constructor, you can variable on the block or a nested class. Any order you can do. There is no any restriction.
Acha.
Yes, ask question.
Ah,
So the initialization that you did earlier
Hmm.
of the top level, I think it's top level class.
Right.
Was it just line before? Can you scroll up?
Hmm.
No, no. There is a example you just showed, like you,
Right
uh,
here. ABC.
uh yeah, No, you wrote a class and then you initialize that class.
Okay, this is the class I written local, and after
Yeah.
that we can create the object and call the method.
Okay. Okay.
This is for the local classes.
Yeah. And for this class
For
for
nested
the
classes, you
yeah.
can
Yeah.
even you cannot, you can declare down, and even you can create object top. It's allowed.
Yeah, I'm talking about this
Yeah,
46.
yeah, this is allowable because compiler, whenever they are going to create the object of nested class, they have scanned all the things whatever written first, so they
Now,
know.
number 46, is it inside the bracket? Can you show,
Yeah,
or is it out?
inside the top class. Now after that, this is the no, this is the test method. After test method,
Okay, okay, got it, got it.
this is the this is, I mean, this line is directly inside this top level class.
Okay, okay,
Even
okay.
I can write this line at the top level, first line.
Okay, okay. So the sequence doesn't matter because it's
Sequence doesn't
in the
matter in
class
the class level. Yes, when we're
in the
writing in the
class
class,
level. Okay.
but sequence matter in the case of method.
Yes, sir. Okay, got it.
Inside methods, because all the methods are executed by the sequentially. But class level, why not? Because class is not executable code. Class is not going to execute. Class is just responsible to creating the object, right? Once
Mm,
object created, you can call the method, right?
Right.
right,
So
right,
finally, when we call method, method going to execute sequentially. But this class
right,
might have a two method, test method and one let more method like here, test two method, I reckon. Void,
right,
void, test two, right?
Mm-hmm.
right.
Just I write s out ABC, right?
Right.
So I created two method, test method, test two method, but there is no any order. User going to call first test or test two. That's my merge. That's my
Right,
interest. Maybe I call test two later, right? I
Mm-hmm.
call
right.
test two later, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yeah.
Some it also works. Even I'm interested. No, I'm going to call test two first after that test, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this order is decided by the developer, right? So might be I'm interested first call test two and then test.
Right.
Fine. So whatever are written inside the top level, due to
Mm-hmm.
that there is no any order required because this top level things access from the object. And object is the user requirement. User sometimes say "Okay, first to test two, then test, right?
Sure.
The
Sure.
compiler is not enforcing you can execute code whatever it in the class is order. No, because in the class any code is by default not executing. Instead, only the constructor and initialization block, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because this constructors by default create once object created, initialization block once create by default object created, right? So these
Mm-hmm.
are things some automatically done, and after that all the methods you are written, that's you decide what is the order I'm going to call.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Any confusion?
Got it.
No, so got it.
So this is your types of classes. So types of classes, what we run, type of classes. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
so we have learned simple or top level class, you can say.
Mm-hmm.
Simple or top level class you can write,
All right.
or you can write your inside the top level class you can write the nested class,
Sure.
nested class, or
Mm-hmm.
even you can write the static nested.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
All right.
and even inside the method you can call the local class, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one we have study local class, right? So
Mm-hmm.
generally types of maybe local class means ki inside any block you can write this local class. It's generally in a method, right? Inside
Mm-hmm.
a method. Local class inside a method. Okay? Inside a method. Okay, and one class, top level class. Inside class itself, you can define nested class or static nested class. This nested, inside nested, any level you can do, right?
Right.
This nested class you can further define inside another class, right? Here,
Mhm.
another nested. This is the not any kind of restriction, right?
Right.
So these are the different terminology with respect to class, maybe simple class or nested class or static nested class or local class, right?
Right.
And one more kind of last kind of class known as a anonymous class.
Animus. Acha.
This is the one terminology might be
Yeah, animus. Yeah.
anonymous class.
Mm-hmm.
This is little bit tricky, so I'll explain in another class maybe, right? But I
Acha.
just give you a hint. All these classes you are writing, you must put class and some name, right?
Right.
Here I am writing the class like class, then class name, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the class, some class name. So all are the named classes. All are these are named classes. You can
Mm-hmm.
say type of a named classes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is the one class can be written in Java that is without name.
Acha.
Class without name,
Mm-hmm.
without name
Mm.
is known as a anonymous class.
Acha.
This is the one interesting thing in the cow. You can write class, but don't give any name.
Acha.
So till now, whatever this study, all the classes like class one, top
Mm-hmm.
level class, or local class, or nested class, there is
Mm-hmm.
no any inheritance relationship, right?
Mm. Right.
But anonymous class is the inheritance relationship.
Acha.
So all these classes which we study, there is a no inheritance relation.
Acha.
All types of classes.
Mm-hmm.
Notice all the above classes has no inheritance relation,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
Right.
the named class, but anonymous class is the inheritance relationship.
Acha.
Anonymous class is
Mm-hmm.
a inheritance relationship,
Acha.
right?
Right.
So if you are going to write anonymous class, then you have to make a inheritance. Inheritance means you have to at least one superclass and then subclass, right?
Plus, right.
So anonymous class only possible in the case of inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
So how I'm going to write a class without name? That is very strange, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's example one superclass, right?
Right.
Superclass, and
Mm-hmm.
we have a class subclass
Right.
class extend superclass. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So generally, this is the way I do it. But still here writing the class name, right?
Right.
And just write s out, just take method
Mm-hmm.
void test.
Right.
And this the mention key output. This is the test of
Right.
superclass, right?
Right.
And similarly, let's write the subclass
Mm-hmm.
test of subclass.
Right.
So generally, this is the superclass and subclass. They have a relationship. But here,
Mm-hmm.
till now, I'm not writing any anonymous class. But those class is a named class. This is the
Mm-hmm.
named class. This is the named class. So how
Right.
can generally use the named class here? Generally say here superclass object equal to new maybe superclass, right? This is the
Mm-hmm.
one way we can understand and call this superclass method dot test. It's work, right?
Right.
So this is the simple work. We have one class, created the object and call. But last
Right.
classes we have also understand Like in the case of superclass, here you can assign subclass as well, right?
Right.
So here I can say, here also I can write like another object one, and here say one, and here I can say subclass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Subclass. So notice this test methods are here they are calling the superclass method, here calling the subclass method, right? Notice the superclass and subclass, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometime I want to make one more subclass. I want to make one more subclass. So what I can do? I just saying copy paste here and copy paste here and write another subclass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another, right?
Right.
Another. And here say another subclass. And here just copy and say key another.
Acha.
Another subclass, right? So if you notice, in this way, generally we are copy paste code same and same. So Java say, is it possible कि we can without notice here superclass test, subclass type, another class types is text, right? So
Right.
even I don't want to write this another class. I don't want to write this class, but still want this output.
Which output?
This
Just
is
for.
the different test method have a different output. Notice if you run, I call
Mhm.
the notice here in the super class I call test, I call test, I call test. But
Right.
each times the output difference because the what the object I assign, right?
With different object. Yeah.
Because this is a subclass, another subclass, all are the hierarchical. So
Right.
different subclass. Sometime compilers say I want to one more implementation here. I want to superclass test, subclass, another. I want to one more subclass.
Uh-huh.
So generally, we have option. We can go and again copy paste. Is
Uh-huh.
it possible without writing this code, I can give the new definition of this test method? Yes. That say here. Let's get another three.
Uh-huh.
I am going to call this three.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and this is the three.
Acha.
Three. But I don't want to write this new class.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to only this definition. This is the definition I want, right? So
Acha.
I can say here I am not going to write another any class. I can say simply thus write this code itself here. And
Acha.
the class name just use the superclass here. And
Uh-huh.
I say one more, one more class, one more another subclass.
Acha.
So here we are writing look like one class without name. No, this class don't have any name. Just name as a user superclass name. And if
Right.
you run, this is the test 3 created the test object from the new implementation.
Mm-hmm.
So such classes that don't have name, you can say anonymous class. Notice
Right.
superclass, subclass, another subclass, one more subclass. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm for here I'm not writing any class,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Notice I'm not
Right.
writing any other class, right? Any more class. There is no class. Here
Sure.
I'm just creating the object of your superclass and whatever the logics of class I can just put here.
Uh-huh.
So this is this concept known as a an anonymous class. So here this code say if this is the anonymous class, you are written some class. This
Uh-huh.
class don't have any name. Just
Right.
but creating object you need some kind of a class name. So I can just use the superclass name, and here the body of class. So here I am trying to say ki this is the one
Right.
superclass can have a one subclass, can have a another subclass, right?
Right.
But I am not going to can have a one another maybe. But I
Mm-hmm.
cannot writing this class. I can say I'm just going to create the object of your this superclass, this superclass, but the test method the new. So I am going to write this code itself here,
Acha.
this here. And after that, I'm calling this test method. They are invoking this new one.
Mm-hmm.
So this kind of this is the kind of inheritance relationship, and the name given to the anonymous class.
अच्छा.
So nowadays, these things are
Mhm.
very, very used in the application. And I'm going to say in the next class the different version of this anonymous class.
अच्छा, अच्छा, अच्छा.
But
Oh,
as of now, we know different types of class we can retain in the Java. One is the
Hmm.
simple class or top level class.
Mhm.
Inside a class, you can define nested class. Inside a class, another define nested class in the level, right? There is no level inheritance. But
Hmm.
inside a class, you can write a static nested class as well as.
All right.
And also the place inside a particular method, you can a class. That is the local class.
All right.
So all these classes, top level class, nested class, static nested class, local class, no follow the inheritance. There is no inheritance relation, right?
Uh-huh.
right.
But each another class, write a anonymous class. A class that does not don't have any specific own name, don't have a
Hmm.
own name. They can just use the name of your parent class. Here,
Uh-huh.
like writing we are class, but they are
Uh-huh.
using the parent name here.
अच्छा.
The anonymous class is the class you can write the class, but not using the name, just using the your parent class name and the place they are write the code, the place the same where their object also created. The
अच्छा.
anonymous class is the class you write the class at the same place, and the same place you can create the object as well as. So
Mhm.
that means whenever you are a super class, multiple implementation can be. I want to one more implementation. Then
अच्छा.
I'm not going to write this class again. I'm say I'm going to the create of super class object, but the definition of this test method I can give new. So whenever I write this is a new code, at the same time I am writing the code, and same time this object also created. So here
अच्छा.
notice, here I am creating this class, but at the same
Mhm.
time new object also created.
Mhm.
I- This this class don't have own name. They have no don't own name. Just using the super class name, super
Mhm.
class, right? So due
Right.
to that, say anonymous class is the class that don't have own name. Just they use the maybe top level inheritance class name, like maybe interface or maybe class.
All right.
Just is the implementation class. You can say just the implementation of a test method. Whatever
Mhm.
defined in the super class test method, you can give the new definition. Just overriding the new definition.
Mhm.
Right.
So generally, these 4 5 types of classes in Java we can write.
Mhm.
Right.
True.
So any confusion till now? The types of classes, right?
Right.
Maybe the anonymous class, I need to review once again.
Yes,
Go through the
anonymous.
video.
Yes.
Anonymous.
So anonymous class, just as you in a anonymous class is no any specific class that need to write the class and new name, right? Generally, in the case of your super class, you just write the one subclass, right? Subclass
Right.
Mhm.
name like A, subclass name like a B, right? You're writing here. Or
Right.
in the case of interface, if we have any interface, you can
Mhm.
implementation class one, implementation class two, right? So
Right.
even I cannot write separate class, not write separate class. What is the purpose of here implementation class? Means here some method define abstract method. You are giving the definition right here, right?
Right.
Right.
Here you are giving there some definition, right? So this definition directly you can give without any name. That means just use the name of
Mhm.
interface, and give the new definition. Don't write a separate class, right?
Right.
So I'll take one more session on this how this anonymous class are highly used nowadays in the different form of concept known as lambda expression. I'll teach the next class
Mhm.
lambda expression. Okay.
Lambda. Okay. Lambda
Lambda.
expression. अच्छा, अच्छा.
So this is the alternative of anonymous implementation. This is the
Okay.
one way anonymous class. Similar things Java 8 come with a new concept known as a lambda expression. So in
Mhm.
coming classes,
But
Yes, we'll discuss it.
Lambda is the main I
Yeah.
heard in AWS. Yes.
AWS.
Oh, that is the something different. Logically, the lambda expression, yeah, lambda words are not the new things. You talk about
Okay.
the AWS lambda. Is the lambda is just a function that can be executed. Okay.
That
In the
can
case
be
of
executed.
yes,
Executed.
just this is the kind of code. Here I am not writing in the anonymous class means ki this is the code. I say ki just execute call test method, right?
You're right.
Similarly, in the AWS Lambda, we are just saying ki this is the my one application. Hail AWS, can you execute my code? I'm not providing the server name. I cannot provide any hardware. Just this is my code. You
Mm,
take my code on your platform on the cloud and go and execute.
mm, mm,
And
mm,
it will do it.
It will do it. So all the readiness for running your application. This is my code. For my
mm,
code running, at least need a software like JVM, GRE, JDK, right? And some machine where JVM, JDK install. Then I can run this code, right? So all
right.
the infrastructure related things like a JDK, JVM, database, application, all infrastructure AWS provide. I am just this is my code. I am sharing this code to the AWS. This is my method. Let's take and execute. I am not going to execute on this code on my laptop,
Mm,
right?
mm,
So this is the AWS Lambda. The
mm,
Lambda terminology are the different meanings. Here, in the coming classes, we are going to understand the Java Lambda expression. Same the set of code I want to execute. Here, like anonymous case, here anonymous class. This is the method I want to execute from the superclass. Then superclass the test. I don't want to execute any other implementation, right? I
right.
want my implementation could be run whenever called test method. Like here, we are called test different implementation, but
Mm,
without writing any separate class. I'm not writing any more class. This is not class. This is a different class, but same output I can achieve without writing a class. I'm just creating the object of superclass and giving the new definition.
अच्छा,
I'm
अच्छा.
just passing this code to your
Yeah.
object, and my object called test method, they execute another more.
Mm,
Okay,
mm. Okay.
so let's just know these are the different types of classes.
Right.
Generally, Java supported as learner. We know that someone may be discussing anonymous class or nested class. So you should aware, yeah, these are things something implemented in Java, right?
Mm,
Okay. So
yeah.
let's explore this possible, and if any doubt, question, concerns, here
Sure.
we'll again discuss. And the next possible class we are going to more understand about this anonymous or lambda expression. Okay,
Lambda expression. अच्छा, अच्छा. ठीक है, sir.
that's good thing.
Thank
Yes.
you, Ajay.
Just as of
Thank
now,
you.
just explore. Till now, we have covered all the possible things you can write inside a class, right?
You're right.
So just recap in the class, always we can write some variable. Variable maybe
You're right.
instance variable, maybe instance variable or instance method or constructor, right?
You're right.
Or maybe instance block. This is the one thing you can do class. Inside class, you can do some static things like static variable, static method, static block, right?
Right.
Similarly, you can declare any variable or any method. There is no order. This variable declare up or down. There is no preferences. You can declare variable down and access the top. It's accessible, right?
Right.
And that was the last structure. Today we understand ki in the class you can write another class as well. Like you can
Right.
class the class that can have a without static or static. Without static means nested class or inner class. Sometimes a nested class or inner class.
Right.
Inner class,
Inner
the
class.
same meaning. Nested class or inner class, the same meaning,
अच्छा,
right?
अच्छा.
So you can write the inner class. Inner class means ki class inside inner class, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
Similarly, static inner class. So
Which one is the
this terminology also known as a R inner class.
inner
Inner class. Same thing,
inner
right?
class is inside the
Another
inside the
class. Ah,
inside the another class. Yeah.
right. So this is my top level class. This is the class inside a class. I am writing another class, right? This is the
Right.
inner class. This inner class can have a multi-level of inner class. In this class, again another class. Inside another class, there is no any kind of restriction. right?
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, nested class also do have no restrictions, any number of things you can write. So today we discuss ki inside a class you can write the different classes, right? Even inside a particular method, this is a test method. Inside the method also we can write the one test class,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is
Mm-hmm.
known as a local class. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Only restriction local class can only visible inside this block. This test local test class cannot accessible anywhere outside of this test method, right? But
Mm-hmm.
this like a
Right.
nested class or inner class or static nested class, this can be accessible outside of the class. Like here in the main method, you are able to access them, right?
Right.
Right.
So these are the these are the nested class or inner class or static
Mm-hmm.
nested class.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, we have a local class. And last, not least, we have also understand one more kind of class in the Java we can write as the anonymous class.
Mm-hmm.
Anonymous class is a kind of a inheritance relationship, parent-child relationship. We are going to write a new class, but not giving any own name. I am just using the parent class name,
Acha, acha,
parent
acha.
class name, and just creating the parent class name object and writing the new code of the implementation class or subclass. The anonymous class is the place where you write in the code at the same place you are creating the object as well as.
Mm-hmm.
And once
Right.
object created, you can call the specific method that declare here, right? So this is known as a anonymous class.
True.
True.
So let's revise this complete concept. Is still
Yeah.
any confusion, doubt, we'll cover.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thank
Take,
you.
take care.
Take care. See you
Take care.
tomorrow.
See you.